What's good, y'all? Welcome to the House of Kantrama. I am Kantrama, the man of madness, the Curator of Chaos. Don't start any trouble in my house. Now, this video is for a game called Ghostlore. And today, I'm going to teach you how to build your character. This is easily one of the most unique systems for developing your character. It's called the Glyph system. Now, when you look at the screen, it'll seem like complete and utter gibberish. And that's where I come in to explain it as best I can. Let's start with the basics. You have 6 simple glyphs, which give you basic increases to your stats, like the amount of skill charges you have, the accuracy, the health points, mana pool, all of those different little things. The 6 simple glyphs are Kasi, Pakala, Seli, Tello, Utala, and Sona. Those are the 6 basic glyphs that you will find most often and will be of immediate use to you upon finding them. When we're talking about the glyph system, we are talking about a much more complex system than you would expect. You have your 6 basic glyphs, but you also have compound glyphs, which include Ilo, Nasin, Alasa, Moku. There are others, but I don't use them all. I only use the ones that directly fit my build. I'll leave it to you to find them and discover what they do. We already have the 6 basic glyphs under wraps. That's easy. It gets complex when it's time to use the compound glyphs. The compound glyphs come with a shape similar to that of a Tetris piece. Those shapes are limited in space. You can't make them overlap, so you have to pick the ones that best suit to your build in order to get the result that you want. The description that shows itself on every compound glyph says they grant additional bonuses for every different simple glyph type in its area of effect, right? That means when you put the complex glyph in, you get 6 different bonuses to choose from. When you put a simple glyph inside of its outline, the outlines are all random, by the way. If you put a simple glyph within its outline, it will give you that bonus. So for example, we have Ilo, but I put a Sona, a Seli, a Pakala, and a Kasi. I'll put those 4 glyphs inside of its area of effect. It gives me 15% more critical hit damage, 10% more additional fire damage, 10% more additional lightning damage, and 10% more additional poison damage. Now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those on my tree. 4. That means that for each individual ILO glyph that I use, if I continuously keep using those bonuses for each compound glyph, that bonus will stack. So if I have 2 ILOs with a Sona, a Seli, a Pakala, and a Kasi, that means that'll be 30% critical hit damage, 20% more additional fire damage, and so on and so forth. Once you get the hang of what glyph does what, you'll then be able to mix and match and note what you want to happen. So I wanted a lot of critical hit damage, so I went and got a lot of critical hit damage. That's 60% for 4 glyphs. Moku provided me HP and MP steal. And when I kill, I get HP and MP back. So if I kill a plethora of enemies, I just don't die. That's a great thing. But if I get one tapped, that's the risk I run. But there's more to the story of the glyph system than meets the eye. Okay, so let's continue. What else is a part of the glyph system is the power system. In Ghostlore, you can triple multi-class. For this exact build, I used Geomancer, Exorcist, and Adept as my choices for this situation. By the time you hit level 30, I believe, all 3 classes should be unlocked. You need to hit level 50 in order to open up the entire tree. But just know, at level 50, that's where the real show begins. You'll have the most available options at that time. Each class you pick gives you 32 skill modifiers that you can use in order to improve the damage you do, improve the cooldown of your skills, improve elemental strength, improve projectile radius, improve projectile pierce. There's many options for each class. Some are in higher numbers than others, like skill multipliers. You get 8 of those. Faster projectiles, you get 8 of those. Minion count, you get 8 of those. Okay? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm making sure. But skill charges, you only get 4 of those. Blind on hit, you only get 2 of those. And trigger effects, like trigger on kill, trigger while transformed, you only get 2 of those per class. You have to pick those carefully based on how you want to play. This is probably going to be the most complex part of this. So please, if you have any questions, please comment down below so that I can provide the best possible answer to get you to the promised land. Okay? We're going to start with Fireball. Now, Fireball says, oh, launch a ball of fire that does mental damage in a small area. Then it says the stats, the MP cost, all of that, right? The skill that I use primarily on this build is called Guardian Flames. So, in order to get Guardian Flames, you have to create a combo skill. It says place either skill to the left or right to create a combo. They mean on the powers tree. This little crazy looking thing on the right hand side. That is what they mean. Fireball's on the left, Guardian Spirit is on the right, and it creates Guardian Flames. Remember what I said about skill modifiers and how you get 2 triggers per class? Guardian Flames is able to be triggered essentially for free. Because when I do a basic attack, there's a 25% chance that it will trigger. It will do 40% less damage, but the speed it will come out is 200% faster, and there's a chance that I won't use a charge. When I kill, period, the skill that will trigger is Guardian Flames. But there's also a chance that it will trigger Force Pull and Seeker Talismans. If I barrel roll in order to dodge, like if I hit the dodge button, that's considered a movement skill. So when I dodge, there's a chance that Guardian Flames will trigger again. But there's also a chance that Pressure Point will trigger. There's also a point that Ice Trap will trigger. There's also a point that Thunderstorm will trigger. All of those things happen off of a single roll. You'll see an example here. My character standing idly, I roll, and all of a sudden we get 3 Ice Traps and a Guardian Flame. Let's keep watching. Now you see lightning falling. Still rolling, still developing more and more Guardian Flames. I've yet to actually press the button to trigger any of these spells. And you see how many Guardian Flames I have now? Just from rolling around? That is the beauty of how triggers work. But let's take it a step further. If you go and look at the triggers, it says 20% chance trigger skills do not use a charge. This says there's a 50% chance that you, there's a 30% chance that you won't use a charge. There's another 30%. There's a 25%. So every time I roll, attack, or kill, Guardian Flames does not use charges, which means I get infinite Guardian Flames. That's crazy. You will still use mana when you use any skills. So it means every time I roll, I'm burning mana. But then that's when we go back to the glyph system and notice, Moku, Sona, 0.6% MP steal. That means if I hit you with Guardian Flames, I get my mana back, once again giving me more Guardian Flames. I want to now discuss class bonuses. In order to get access to the class bonuses, you must use at least 4 modifiers from that class in order to get access to the class bonus. That is indicated by the 4 plus symbols above the class bonuses. For every one you have in place, that adds up for the 4 you need in order to get access to the class bonuses, such as Fire Affinity, Elemental Mastery, After Images, Lightning Affinity, Disperse, Fear, Feedback Loop, Hex. Those are things that will be considered class bonuses. Oh, and Mystic Arts as well. If you notice, when I highlight Pressure Point, the boxes around it, all the way up, down, left, and right, all become highlighted. Anything that is highlighted by a skill will affect that skill. Pressure Point there, but we have Ice Trap here. So what that means is, based on the way the glyph is set up, Ice Trap will activate when I do a basic attack or roll, because we have the triggers here that indicate Ice Trap will be affected by basic attack and movement skill. Pressure Point, basic attack and movement skill. That is how all of your skills will work, except your class bonuses. As you go through your tree and you mix and match to see what's going where, you'll start coming across certain roadblocks. Like when I highlight Thunderstorm, why did it stop at Ice Trap? It's because Ice Trap is a skill, not a modifier. If you have a modifier that you want to affect more than one skill, you must keep the path clear in order for that modifier to reach both skills. I know that's a lot, but take a look at Thunderstorm. You'll notice it goes all the way to the left, all the way to the right, down, and then it goes all the way up, but it stops at Ice Trap. It's because once it hits another skill, the path for modding it stops. That is important to know as you're building your tree. This is what happens when I basic attack. See that? That's what happens when I basic attack. That thing on the ground is a hex that allows me to become stronger. Now I'll put up gameplay so you can see how the build does its thing in actual real time. And my character as of today is level 192. So this is going to be a fun watch. The one thing I will say, the UI needs some serious work to me, because I have so many modifiers, the game can't show them all. That's how much is happening on my game at any given time. But let's carry on. I know that looked nutty. I know it did. But that's the whole point of Ghostlore. And look at that. The Guardian Flames are still here. Now, of course, there's an equipment difference. Like the Frenzy Battle Quiver of Precision. I made that weapon. Like I went into the game, found the weapon, leveled it up, got it done, put gems in it, it hits hard. But alongside it hitting hard, it's triggering so many other things as I'm playing through. Let's take the ability Disperse. When an attack kills an enemy, the remaining damage is dispersed in a surrounding area. That means it's overkill damage. So if I'm grouping enemies together, I kill one, Disperse will kill the rest, but it's still feeding back into more Guardian Flames, because Guardian Flames does what? Trigger on kill. That's the kind of stuff that goes into the math of this game. This is a lot to take in, and this is a lot to understand. So for the next week or so, I will be answering any and all questions anyone may have. And yes, I understand that it looks chaotic. It's because I made the build chaotic. It's going to look like that, no matter what I do, because that's what I like. That could potentially crash your game because of how strong it is, and because of how many hits it can land. I know you saw that boss shred. It didn't take but a second. As soon as I touched him, boop, went up in flames. Because that's the nature of the game for Ghostlore. Be as strong as you want. Go as far as you want. It's pure insanity, and I truly enjoy it. And I hope you do too. Now I'm going to do a quick run through of what just took place. We have Guardian Flames being triggered by a basic attack, which is also triggering Force Pull, Seeker Talismans, Pressure Point, and Ice Traps, and Thunderstorm, all at once. As I'm hitting you, with force pull, it's pulling you back into Guardian Flames, which pierces through enemies, which means it's hitting multiple times per enemy. And Pressure Point keeps triggering rapidly, but I'm getting free cooldown because of Mystic Arts. That is how you would mix and match your abilities to maximize your overall output. Not to mention I have after images. If I roll, all of the enemies look straight to that and attack that first before they attack me. Enemies are gone in seconds. You then have Hex. Place a curse on enemies. Enemies which are cursed suffer more when under the effect of an affliction. Exorcise is an affliction. It works itself out. Feedback loop gives me 20% MP steal. And there's a chance that any trigger skill don't use a charge. Then fear. Enemies fear on basic attack chance only 25%. But as I'm pulling you in, you're trying to escape it and you can't. Now your back is turned and you're now getting hit by Guardian Flames. That is how builds in Ghostlore can typically work. I really truly hope that y'all enjoy building and seeing what this game can really offer, because it's definitely a treat for me to play this game as often as I have. Any questions, please ask. That's all I can really say. I hope y'all enjoy this video, because I know it's a lot of explaining. Oh Lord.